My name is Manny Chahal, and I'm a personal injury and commercial real estate lawyer. For years, I have helped clients secure millions in verdicts and settlements in personal injury cases and billions of dollars in assets. Over the years, I've developed relationships all over the world with extraordinary people who are leaders in their field. Because of those relationships, I started the Sardaar Circle. In Punjabi, Sardar means chief or leader. And this podcast was created to inspire Punjabi and the broader Indian youth to learn from these entrepreneurs, athletes, and other successful Indians. Join us as we gain both knowledge and inspiration from high-profile members and future leaders of our community. Welcome to the Sardaar Circle. Today we speak with Rajkaran Grewal, or Raj as I like to call him. Raj is a 5.0 student and ex-AAA hockey player from Muskegon, Michigan. It is important for me to add here that Raj does not drink alcohol, does not smoke, or do drugs. Raj has dedicated his youth to becoming a high-profile lawyer in the future and hopes to become a leader in the Indian community. Raj has been under my tutelage for almost 2 years now and has worked tirelessly as an intern while attending the University of Michigan full-time. Raj is an only child of 2 hardworking immigrant parents, and despite his fair share of hardships, is continuously thriving to become an example for our youth to follow. So Rajkaran, brother, we're
Manny,
finally here in the
made it.
Bay Area, baby.
We're in the Bay. We're in San Francisco.
We came up with this idea, brother, approximately 2 months ago.
Yep.
And we concocted a plan to essentially, come here and record a podcast.
Exactly.
And ਆਪਾਂ ਦੋਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਵਕਤ
Yep.
ਵੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਕੇ podcast record
Exactly. But I'll say let's rewind. San Francisco wasn't the original location.
ਨਹੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਣਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਆਪਾਂ
ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਸੀ ਆਪਣਾ.
It was a different plan. What was the other plan?
ਪਹਿਲਾਂ we were going to be in LA.
We were going to be
a
in
little
LA.
SoCal. All of a sudden things switch. But I feel like that's how some of the best things happen. Spontaneously. Quick.
They do.
Flash.
And yet we're here now on a yacht in the beautiful city of San Francisco, California, and we're here to talk about there's a message that I want to shoot out to the youth of our community, right?
Yep.
That is our purpose here.
It is.
ਆਪਾਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਪੱਗਾਂ ਬੰਨ ਕੇ ਉਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੈਠੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਦੇ ਪੱਗ ਆਮ ਬੰਨਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ.
Exactly same.
Right? I don't generally wear a turban, right?
Be frank,
like I
same as
generally,
well.
6-7 days out of the week I don't wear a turban, right? This is just something that I wanted to do. Lately, like I've just wanting to do this.
Sometimes it comes to you. You don't have to go to it.
Exactly.
It's a certain type of feeling.
Exactly. So we had this conception of an idea, and then we came here, and we decided to talk about the law. We decided to talk about the youth. We decided to talk about your and my, legal relationship, how we came to know each other, and then Lexorum partly, and then. My legal practice, as you know, I practice personal injury law.
Yes.
And I do business, corporate, commercial real estate law. And so why don't you tell the folks, how did we come to know each other, good brother?
It's been about a year and a half. Time has flown. And first time I still remember, it was about April 2024.
Right.
2024, got a call. And first impression, I was like, apna Punjabi lawyer, apna Punjabi vakeel, right?
Right.
There's a sense of comfortable feeling that you get with someone talking to from your own community.
What do you mean by that?
It's a sense of calming where you feel like, okay, this person might get me and understand me more than someone else.
What explain further. What do you mean by that?
I feel like soon as you pick up the phone, even a quick Sardari Circle,
right.
Soon as that hits, you're like, a certain type of common ground you get. And that common ground, I think, really allows you to open up. And right away, I opened up.
You opened up.
And I was like, Manny, I have a goal. I want to be a lawyer. Not just any lawyer. I want to be the lawyer one day.
Right.
How do I do that?
Right.
And you gave it to me, I think, pretty straightforward if you want to kind of go about the response you gave me initially before we even
What was the response? I honestly, I think it would be better for you to share the response rather than me talk to the people.
I was frank. I was a sophomore undergrad. I didn't take my LSAT once. I hadn't even applied to law school, obviously, yet. So where in all this can I come to benefit you? That's why I was thinking, how can I show off my talents, my work ethic to you and be like, तोने पासे फ़ायदा हो सकता.
Right.
That's how I thought. Sometimes it's not about that, but that's how I thought, because we didn't know each other.
Right.
And I gave it to you, Frank, and you were honest that you're like, there's not really much you can do right now.
Right.
And I was like, let's just
So
meet. I just want to meet.
I probably would have shared with you that it's too early for you at
Yep.
that stage in your educational career.
Exactly.
You know, to try and pursue a legal occupation,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I said, I'm sure if I the same way, I get calls all the time like that,
Yeah.
brother.
That's
So
it.
I get calls all the time from the young community, from
Mm-hmm.
different, you know, members of the Punjabi community specifically,
Yep.
and the Indian community more generally, about just individuals wanting to pursue a career in law.
Exactly.
And I always share the same message, or at least I try to. First, you need to go through the process, right?
There is.
I think there's a big misconception in the sense that people think that, you know, it's an automatic win if you just simply go to law school.
Yeah.
The real struggle starts after you pass the bar exam,
Exactly.
right? There's a whole other hustle involved afterwards.
Yep.
It's not just that you pass the bar exam and you get a job as a lawyer.
It's
that
not a free ticket.
things are all like, you know, free ticket, like
There's
you
no
just
free
said.
ticket. Yep.
So how did that affect your, you know, career path as far as what you were doing?
You know, for me, that was a reality that I had seen before. I'd always heard it's too early, you're fine, just wait, take your time. But when you have that sense of urgency that, no, like, I need to keep going, I want to do this now, I feel like that creates more opportunities in the present than missing out in the past. So
Right.
kind of elaborating on that, I think I was like, I have to take that first step. Let's at least meet. Sometimes the bare minimum can get you a lot farther than trying to reach for the top right
And
away.
we did meet, didn't we?
Yeah, we did
met,
meet.
right? And what was that meeting about?
I remember coming to your office and just, first of all, sitting down. We had Sidhu playing in the back.
Right.
Another sense of being comfortable.
Hey, brother, I play music all day long. You know my style
exactly.
by now.
Oh, just
I don't work without music. It has to be on full blast all day long.
Yeah, and right away I was like, this person's genuine. He's comfortable. He's doing what he wants to do, how he wants to do it. So I was like, okay, let's approach this how I want to talk to this person.
So what did I tell you about the practice at that point? What did I explain to you?
You gave
about
it to
the
me how you
practice?
just said, straightforward. It's now no free ticket. You can't just expect that I'm gonna go through X, Y, and Z and also get ABC in return.
And
it doesn't work like
Raj,
that.
you're a U of M student, man. You're in a very highly regarded school, obviously.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Right? Like you're a 4.0 GPA, if not more, student, right?
Thank you.
You're doing very well for yourself, and you know, I commend you on that. And that's probably why when you were recommended to call me and I talked to you, I knew that in advance.
Yep.
What made you want to just like pursue the solo practitioner path?
I was, to be frank, once again, I was battling within myself of what I want to do. Whereas I know there's certain types of laws, there's different types of laws. You can go corporate, you can go solo, you can maybe go to these small firms. And it was a battle in my head of what do I want to do for the future. I hadn't come to that decision yet. And as I've been sitting, we've been talking, even these last couple of months, the more I think about it, sometimes your value doesn't necessarily, I guess, add the most impact to a community at the very top of the ladder. Sometimes sticking into your roots, staying where you've grown up, is where you have the biggest impact. And slowly I've come to realize that maybe even staying in Michigan, even being around people I've known and grown up, sometimes you can add the biggest impact there by doing what you still want to do. You don't have to go to New York City, you don't have to go to Chicago, you don't have to go to LA to do all these big things and still make an impact.
So it took me about 3-4 years once I started practicing to realize this, that I was put here in Michigan. I'm from Toronto, obviously, you know that.
Yep.
It took me a little while to realize that God put me in Michigan for a reason, to serve the Indian community, to serve the Punjabi community within the realm of personal injury law and within the realm of business, corporate, commercial law, right? But once you realize that sort of thing, it's a humbling experience.
It is.
Right? And then it makes you want to work harder even for your clients,
exactly.
right? So where do you see yourself in the next little while? Like, what do you see yourself doing? We've obviously talked about a company called Lexorum. We've already, put that out there on social media a little bit. How do we concoct that idea? Where did that come from?
Yeah, this was also, like I said, one spontaneous idea. But obviously, ideas have to come to action. I think as soon as we took the action, it's been on a roll right now.
Right.
We started just a couple months ago in the summer where, to put it in simple terms, Lexorum Inc. is LPO, legal process outsourcing. We want to connect professionals here in the U.S., whether it's solo practitioners, big law firms, small firms, it doesn't matter, with some of the highest classified attorneys and lawyers licensed in India. And these lawyers are not just average lower court attorneys. These are some of the highest graded attorneys, Supreme Court level, where they can pick up on systems that here in the US within a matter of a weekend. We can send over 100 pages just like that. They take it in because their work ethic is unmatched. That's one thing in the Indian community. Sometimes it's not just about these textbooks and seeing who can be the smartest, about the work ethic, and that's what our Indian community has.
Absolutely.
And that, I think, puts us a step above, and that's why connecting
right.
kind of makes it advantageous for both parties.
And I would go as far as saying that their ability to engage with artificial intelligence, which is a huge part of the practice nowadays, which I frankly think that is not going to replace our profession, but it's going to implement itself into helping lawyers work more efficiently and work faster. They're so well versed in using it that it's making the practice so much more efficient, right? So these lawyers are essentially helping the back end, right, of the legal practice. They're not filing their name on pleadings or going to court or doing depositions or things like that, but they're doing all the back end legal work, right? So this is an idea that we came up with together, right? So where do you see this company going in about 5 years, Raj?
Ideally, public. That's
Ideally
it. Simple.
public.
Simple.
I think there's a gap that exists between law firms and lawyers and essentially the Indian lawyer market that we're trying to bridge the gap in between. Right?
That's how some of these biggest things start. You got to find the gap.
So this morning you were asking me a different question entirely, off topic. What was that question?
To backtrack.
Yeah.
We have AI now. We have all these resources. My question is, before any of this social media came about, how were you able to connect with clients, with people in the Punjabi community, and with some of the closest relationships you have made up to this day?
So brother, I actually, I took my time to make face-to-face relationships, which is what I truly still believe in. I know social media is out here now. You can add friends on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You can become a follower, you can be followed, whatever, right? But my theory has always been that face-to-face engagement is the actual way in which you form relationships with an individual. I still believe in the concept of talking to people across the table. And the clients that I've had in the past, with God's blessing, some of them have been billionaires. Right, their companies have been valued at over $1 billion.
And were you able to see that growth from beginning to end?
Yes, so thankfully I assisted some clients with, taking their companies from hundreds of millions to billions of dollars. And that was by meeting them face to face. It wasn't over text message, it wasn't over phone calls. You have to take that time and you have to talk to them in person.
And the scope of these clients aren't necessarily limited to one area, is it?
No,
it can be anywhere.
No, it's not. So, personal injury work aside, those clients are, obviously they call all the time. Those are different types of cases, right? Catastrophic personal injury anyways, because I don't like to work on cases that are your so-called typical, billboard attorney, ambulance chasing type cases. I like to take on catastrophic personal injury cases. I'm very selective with those. But when it comes to the corporate commercial work or the transactional work, those types of clients, it's very face-to-face, and the scope of them, it covers all of North America. So, I've been blessed with the ability to work from Toronto to all the way to Vancouver, down all the way to California, and all the way to New York, right? So you can map that out, and every state or province in between those areas, I've been able to tackle those provinces on at least commercial real estate work.
So for, I guess, people who wouldn't know, obviously there can be a lot of high stakes in this commercial real estate field.
Absolutely, because you're essentially, the client is relying on your advice for example, a $25 to $30 million transaction. If you give them the wrong advice, they are relying on your advice. If something goes wrong, you are at fault.
Yeah.
Right? And the thoroughness with which you have to work, integrity with which you have to work, the honesty with which you have to work, these are huge things.
It is. Do
right?
you ever?
Because the issues don't necessarily arise right at the time that you're closing on a commercial real estate deal, for example.
Yep.
They may come up 10 years later.
Yeah, you got to think ahead.
You may close on a deal within 90 days, but 10 years later something pops up and then you're on the hook.
Makes sense.
If you did something wrong.
So I guess with that being said, do you get a sense of pressure when you go about
there's
this?
pressure, but I take the pressure in a sense of, as in Michael Jordan takes pressure. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. That's what keeps me going, man. I love the practice, and I go to work and I handle it, right?
Yeah.
I like that pressure because I like to perform. I perform better under pressure.
Exactly.
To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in terms of balancing commercial real estate transactions, big ticket cases as well in personal injury field, how do you balance all this workload?
Brother, I have one main thing that keeps me going every single day, and that's God's prayer. As of late, like 2 years, that's what's been helping me, right? Like, so I listen to God's prayer 2-3 times a day, and I go to work, and it does its job in the way that it should, I think, and I handle it. That's it. There's no other excuse. There's no secret to it. You have to do it. You have to do, like, Barney de vich jidan likhya hunda, you have to work.
Exactly.
You have to work to get your fruit.
Yeah.
You have to work to get the fruit of your labor.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what keeps me going every day.
It is. I feel like it's good to know in the present what keeps you going. But in the past, shuru to pehla to, vakil di wakalat, why? Why did you choose this practice?
ਵਕਾਲਤ ਯਾਰ ਮੈਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਾਇਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਜੌਨ ਮਾਰਕੋ ਮੇਰਾ ਦੋਸਤ ਆ ਕਾਫੀ ਖਾਸ ਦੋਸਤ ਆ ਉਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਮਿਸ਼ੀਗਨ ਤੋਂ ਵਕੀਲ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਹੀ ਇਜ਼ ਅ ਵੈਰੀ ਹਾਈ ਪ੍ਰੋਫਾਈਲ ਲਾਇਰ ਜੌਨ ਮਾਰਕੋ ਸ਼ਾਊਟ ਆਊਟ ਟੂ ਜੌਨ ਮਾਰਕੋ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਵਕੀਲ ਆ
ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਯਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੀ ਵੀ ਯਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਦੇਰ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ 9ਵੀਂ ਕਲਾਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਗਏ ਸੀਗੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਕੂਲ ਦਾ ਟ੍ਰਿਪ ਸੀਗਾ ਸਕੂਲ ਦੇ ਟ੍ਰਿਪ ਦੇ ਥਰੂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੋਰਟ ਹਾਊਸ ਗਏ ਸੀਗੇ
ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਤੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਜੱਜ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲੇ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਜੱਜ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ ਯਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਉਦੋਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਦਿਮਾਗ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਇਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਵੀ ਯਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਐਕਸਪਲੇਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ because the purpose of the trip was just to explain to the students. We took a field trip there to the courthouse and the judge explained to us what the practice is and what happens in the courthouse and stuff like that. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਯਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਅਹਿਸਾਸ ਹੋਇਆ ਵੀ this is what I want to do. ਤੇ ਦੂਸਰਾ ਮੈਂ ਯਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਐਕਸਪਲੇਨ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੋਇਆ on my podcast with John Marco ਕਿ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਦੋਸਤ ਆ ਉਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਮੈਡੀਸਿਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਚਲੇ ਗਏ ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਐਂ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਵੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਡਾਕਟਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵਕੀਲ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਪੈਣੀ ਆ
ਹਾਂਜੀ
right so it's kind of like a funny thing but it turned out being a good thing right?
Well, I guess
it's a good thing.
I think it's important to entail like when you say medical ਚ ਗਏ ਆ ਜੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਹੈਲਪ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਆ how the medical law how does it relate?
Well, I can tell you about one case so I learned about acetabular fractures, for example, throughout the course of one case, throughout the course of like a 6-7 year litigation, right? Like it's an acetabular fracture case. You guys can Google it. Wherein somebody's hip got fractured by a car. Right? And you get into medicine because you have to depose doctors. And when you go depose like a neurosurgeon or an orthopedic surgeon rather, you have to know the questions you're going to ask them in advance. So you have to study that field. So you end up learning about that field prior to even going in. And over a period of like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, deposing doctor after doctor, the treating physicians, the treating providers, you end up learning the practice. And you end up learning the medicine. In a way, not to say that I know medicine. I'm not by any means qualified to be a doctor.
But you'd say more than the average person almost to an extent.
Not even. I mean, nowadays, you can, if you put your mind to it, you can.
That's a good point.
You're not a doctor. Don't get me wrong. There's a big difference, and that's where I think there's a huge disconnect in these children and society with thinking that they are professionals.
in every single field by going to ChatGPT and thinking that they're learning all this stuff.
Yeah, ChatGPT, I guess, pros and cons, as many would say. Growing up without ChatGPT and seeing a generation now that not just has ChatGPT, but has AI, has all these resources with social media, Google, the internet. Do you think there's a sort of power to that now, or also kind of a loss of, I guess, not just cognition, but also potential?
I think there's a huge power to it. I definitely, I believe there's a huge power to it. However, I think that the younger generation has a misunderstanding as to how to use it. It is a tool created to assist you in trying to obtain or achieve your objective. It is not there to replace your own brain. Your brain, like, it's like your eyes. In comparison to the camera lens that's recording us right now. What you see with your eyes can't be replaced with any camera lens in the world. I don't care how high resolution it is.
Yeah, that's
right?
a great point.
It's a tool there to assist you. And I think there's a disconnect with the younger generation where they think that they can just, become something overnight. So that's my position on it. I won't get into too much details about that because time will tell as to, what it does or what it doesn't do. We use it in our firm, we use it to utilize, for various portions of our practice, but we don't replace. At the end of the day, you still have to review the documentation yourself.
Yep, exactly.
Because you're filing, these are serious court documents that you're filing in court. You can lose your law license.
Yeah, there's a lot of confidentiality as well.
You can lose your law license at the end of the day. And I'm not willing to risk that over a software. Right? Like, it's not just input, exit, and you still have to review it.
I think it's important to note this is a supplement, this is an assistance, but your team, your network is so vast where you have a certain roadmap that's already been set in place that has been working.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Rajkaran, this was a great podcast, good brother. I think we shared with the young youth some great messages. And my only message to the young youth today is that, study hard, work hard. We want to bring positivity through this introduction to the podcast, right?
Yep.
And this is just the first of many to come.
Exactly. I think it provides a good context of just a various range of topics, but also of how this can extend, not just for the present, but for the future.
Yes, and this is not restricted. My message is not just for the Punjabi Sikh community. This is to the Indian community overall. This is to the general youth community, right? Like, there are avenues just to be positive. Because all we see nowadays is negative stuff online. Right? So why not create a positive message and, hopefully this goes somewhere and it reaches even one person. And it affects their life in a positive way. Because God has blessed you and I with some good things in our lives, and
things happen for a reason. I truly believe.
I just want to share this message with everybody, and hopefully it goes somewhere.
I think last thing to end off.
Absolutely.
Why Sardaar Circle? Why the meaning behind it? Why was that name the one that you were like?
Sardari is like Sardari. When I put on the turban, I don't do it often. I do it, again, like I said this at the beginning of the podcast. I do it very rarely, but I'm starting to get more and more into it. But once I put the king's crown on, right, it's a different feel.
It's a sense of pride. I felt it this morning getting tied.
It's a sense of pride, brother. And it's a sense of pride, and you get some sort of a message from above. And that message you want to relay to as many people as you can. And it, more importantly, it makes you want to change your behavior even further into a positive way. Right? So that's the reason, I chose the name Sardaar Circle for this podcast. And obviously, attorney Manny Chahal sponsors this whole thing, and we have Lexorum sponsoring this whole thing. But Sardaar Circle is Sardari. Right?
It's a feeling of nobility, royalty that I think we cherish. It's been in our blood for generations.
It is. There's a feeling. There's a feeling. Good talking to you, brother.
Thank you so much.